So I come from a broken home. Mama A and Papa A, well, they got pregnant with little baby A at the incredibly mature age of around 19. Long and painful story short, it didn't work out and they went their separate ways. My mom, who I love with all of my heart, met and married a few dudes along the way. One of these dudes and would-be stepfathers was, how do I put it? What's the word? Asshole. I was young and he was emotionally abusive. And seeing as though all I wanted as a young guy was just to have some semblance of security. And so when he would be emotionally or verbally abusive, I learned to just take it. Because I figured that, hey, if I don't rock the boat, we'll be alright. I never fought back, I never spoke my mind, I just kind of bottled it all up. The marriage didn't end up working out, and they ended up getting divorced when, right around the time I went to college. But the damage to me had been done. I lost my ability to stand up for myself, and it took years and a little bit of therapy to finally find my voice, my confidence, and that ability to basically say, no, nah, not okay, or you're not going to treat me that way. And so today I thought I'd give a few tips, a little advice, and definitely some perspective from somebody who gets it. One of the most eye-opening pieces of advice that I've ever received was when I heard that we teach people how to treat us. This idea was groundbreaking to me, and I started analyzing all of the different relationships that I had, and I realized that absolutely, I was teaching people that it was okay to treat me a certain way because I would never stand up for myself, all right? There was a guy that I opened some nutrition stores with, and I'd end up working more than I should because I could never say no. Or I wouldn't make as much money. He'd make more because, well, I never would stand up for myself and say, no, I deserve it too. Another reason that we as creatures have such a tough time standing up for ourselves is that we're afraid of what'll happen if we actually do. This was definitely the case in my situation when I was growing up. I was so petrified of having to move, change schools, change friends. That's what I loved. And it was easier for me just to take it at home as opposed to having to potentially move. And that's what the risk I felt was if I would stand up and say, hey, that's not okay, or if I would argue. So in my early 20s, I realized that I had a problem. My problem was the inability to basically stand up for myself. And it was really starting to bother me. And so I decided to go see a therapist. And it was one of the best decisions I ever made. But unfortunately, one of the things that I had to basically realize and accept for myself was that if I wasn't comfortable standing up for myself in certain situations with certain people, I needed to get out of those environments because it was never going to get better. The anxiety that I felt even thinking about standing up for myself was way too much. For me, it wasn't worth trying to work it out with this guy that I was in business with. It was easier just to say, deuces, I'm out, and leave because that's the choice I made. I don't know if it was right or wrong. I feel good about it, but a lot of times it is. You've got to make a decision. Sometimes you're going to lose friends. Sometimes you're going to lose careers. You could potentially lose a significant other or spouse if you finally stand up for yourself. But the alternative is you being eaten alive inside, and that's just something I wasn't willing to deal with. And when I left, I basically said, okay, if I'm going to be out of here, I need to change. I need to make sure that I start asserting myself and taking care of myself. And so I started doing it. When I felt that I was being treated poorly, I'd say something. Now, one of the things that happened is I would get crazy butterflies. I would almost pass out. I would get so much adrenaline and get so nervous. But it's like anything else. If you practice, the more you stand up for yourself, you're going to find the easier it's going to get. The other bonus and upside to standing up for yourself is that these toxic people and relationships seem to start going away because they are comfortable putting you down. And if you're going to stand up, they're going to be like, I don't want it. Now I'll go find somebody else who's a pushover. It's a beautiful thing and it feels so amazing. And really what I feel that it boils down to is developing that confidence and just knowing, once again, that you are an amazing person and nobody deserves to put you down or treat you poorly. We need to take care of ourselves. There's nobody else who's responsible for your happiness or your success. Gentlemen, life is too short to not feel good about who you are or the people you're around. The ability to say no is a skill that that you can develop. Take it from me, the king of not being able to say no. But gentlemen, it feels amazing, and you are worth it.